understand, to know and to not do is to not know at all, family. So all this information that you're going to learn in these books and these audios and these events and these mentors, okay, you have to apply it. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you've never done, so that way you can get things that you've never had. Okay, you guys had no idea how much I've had to change and how much I've had to do that I never done before in order for me to get here. I didn't like to read, but I started reading. I didn't like meditating, but I started meditating. I would rather spend $400 on a pair of shoes, but now I invest $400 into books, audios, and courses. You see, I've changed. Before, I would like to listen to music all day, every day. Now I listen to audios all day, every day. Okay. Before, I would rather just hang out with my friends and chill all day and talk about nothing. But now, I like spending time with my mentors and individuals that are headed into the right direction. Things had to change because I understood that, unless I changed, nothing was going to change. So your teachability index is everything. Okay. Right after basic number one, which is who do you listen to? Basic number two is just as important, which is your teachability index, your willingness to learn and your willingness to change. Your goal after listening to this podcast right here should be to get your teachability index to a 10. 10 in learning and 10 in changing. That's what's going to make you a successful individual. So that's basic number two. Basic number three is the training balance scale. Training balance scale, which is understanding the physical side and the spiritual side of success. Okay. Now, this is so important. Okay. This is very, very, very important. Key, honestly. Okay. Because I want you to understand this. Success is 90 to 99% spiritual. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Success is 90 to 99% spiritual and 1 to 10% physical. Okay. Now I'm going to break down the both sides of success. I'm going to start with the 1 to 10%, which is the physical side of success, which is what majority of us focus on. All right. And the physical side of success represents the actions we take. Okay. The skills, the events we go to, the trainings. Okay. If you're doing, for example, if you're a part of, a platform that trades, you're trading. Okay. If you're prospecting, if you're doing opportunity calls, all right, you're developing your leaders. All right. This is all the physical work. Okay. Going door to door, working your job, whatever it is that requires physical work, that's the physical side of success. Okay. Anything that requires your physical body to do the work is the physical side of success. Now, remember, that's only 1 to 10% of it, though. That's only 1 to 10 of the success that you will accomplish in life. Do you understand why it's so important now to understand all of success? This is something that no one ever taught us. There's a reason why only 5% of the world's population lives the life of their dreams. Is because people don't understand this information right here. If people understood the basics, okay, this will be a game changer for you. This will change everybody's life that is listening to this podcast right now if you could understand what I'm going over right now. The physical side of success is only 1 to 10%. The one that changes the game and the one that really takes you to the next level is the spiritual side of success, which is 90 to 99% of it. And when I first learned this information, guys, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys are my family. When I first learned this information, I thought it was BS. I'm like, there's no way. Like, come on, bro. You guys are just talking. Those numbers sound good, but I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get it anyway, regardless. I don't know about this whole spiritual thing. Like, it was my ego. I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna just work hard regardless, bro. Like, I'm gonna get there. And I thought I had it all figured out. And you reach a point in this journey where all you can do physically, hits a limit. Think about that. All you can do physically will hit a limit. All right. And that limit for me was $2,000 a month. I did all I could do physically. I was doing all the trainings, I was doing all the op calls, I was developing the leaders, I was waking up early, I was working hard every day, 10 to 12 hours a day, doing all the physical work, guys, all of it, all the physical work. And then I finally made the decision that I was going to start tapping into more of the spiritual side of success. Okay. And this is when everything changed. You see, the spiritual side of success has a lot to do with faith, right? Faith is believing in the unseen. The spiritual side of success has to do with prayer, gratitude, affirmations, okay, self talk, emotional intelligence, affirmations, journaling, just so much more that a lot of people don't really understand, like understanding the laws of the universe. Okay, there's a whole different side of success that people never really get a chance to tap into, and that's the reason why sometimes they never really get to accomplish massive success. You see people that acquire success, but keeping success is a completely different story. Okay, so remember, it's not about the success that you can get to, it's about the success that you can keep. Okay, and that's where the spiritual side of success come in. Just guys, just think about all the most successful individuals in the world. Think about their faith, think about their belief in themselves, think about all the things that they say. All right, guys, let's get this call started. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Amazing. Welcome, 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 familia. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, June 20th, and it is officially the 5-year anniversary of Mornings with Neno. I am so, so excited, to be on this call with all of you guys. It's crazy to think that it's been 5 years since I started these calls. And I want to thank you guys all for the congratulations. This is a team effort here. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So, I want to just say, happy 5-year anniversary to the whole entire Mornings with Nano community. Thank you guys all for hopping on. I see a lot of familiar faces on this call that have been rocking with me for years. As a matter of fact, real quick in the chat box, let me know how long you've been on Mornings with Nano for. Let me see in the chat box who's been on Mornings with Nano for how long, how many years, how many months. I just want to see half a decade. 5 years, yeah, Amber, you've been here with me for a while. 3 years, 4.5 years. Wow, man, you almost been here with me the whole time. Noemi, let's go. Holly since 2019. That's a real one. Man, we got some 2019 ones here. This is awesome. We got people who've been here for 2 years, 2 months, 4 years, 1 year, 3 months, 2 months. Since 2021, December 2019, almost 5. Mina got 4 years rocking with me. Wow, from the beginning. 3 years for some. Congratulations. 6 months since I joined the academy. 4 years. Someone has only been here for 5 weeks, 2 months. Wow, wow. We got a lot of 2019s on Instagram. Sheesh. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Since 2020, my sis Rosie in the building. Michael Howard, 3 years. I know you've been rocking with me, bro. Man, sheesh. And a lifetime to go. Facts, facts, facts. Wow. Well, I just want to say again, guys, thank you so much for all the love and all the support over the years. Mornings with Nano has been something that has blessed not only myself, but it's blessed thousands of people all around the world. And, I give all the glory to God, and I give all the thanks to God for putting me in the position that He's put me in, to be able to have this platform to share it with other people and be able to, just go out there and share wisdom, share ideas, share, the things that I've learned that have helped me out, and I'm blessed that I get a chance to share it with you guys. And I think that it's important, for me to share how this all started and, how it's all gone about from the beginning, because I think a lot of people need to hear the story of, how Mornings with Nano started and kind of how it expanded and how it got to where it is today. And then I got a good training, that I want to share with you guys here about what it comes to, paying the price, right? That's going to be my training for you guys today. It's paying the price, right? And it's a price that we all got to pay in order for us to be successful. So, I want to make sure that you guys truly understand that, this has been a 5-year journey of ups and downs, of showing up, of growth, of, you name it, it has happened. And, like I said, again, thank you so much for everybody who has ever supported me, who's ever, shared the podcast, shared the YouTube, shared the link. If you've bought a piece of merch, if you've came to one of my events, if you've invested into the MMX platform, if you've ever shared it with anybody, for any single person that has ever participated and supported and loved and shared the Mornings with Nano family, I just want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart that I am very, very, very grateful for it all. I don't take anything for granted, and forgive me if I ever made you guys feel unappreciated or anything for whatever reason, or if I never answered a message or a call or a training. It was never intentional, but I just want you guys to know that from the bottom of my heart, because it did take a village to run this over the years. And there's so many people to thank. I go back and, as I tell you guys my story, I want to give special thanks to specific people. But let me tell you guys a story of how Mornings with Nano even started for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll jump into a training so you guys can kind of have an idea. So, back in 2019 was when Mornings with Nano started, right? It started exactly June 20th of 2019. Now, prior to that, about 3 months before Mornings with Nano even started, I started a personal development, routine. And it started around March, April of 2019. And for a couple of months, I had been doing, you see that routine you guys see me do now, like, waking up early, meditation, reading, journaling, gym. I kind of had started that routine, and I had been consistent with it for about 90 days or so. And I was vibrating at the highest possible level that I can get to. Now, as you guys know, I run a network marketing business. And at the time, I had a team of about 100 people. And obviously, I start checking in on some of my leaders, and I jump on a call with, my leaders, and I'm asking them like, yo, how's everything going? Kind of like a weekly to monthly checkup that I do on leaders. And, I'm checking in on the leaders, and they're just, they're kind of just asking me questions, so on and so forth. One of my leaders, his name is Masner. He's not on this call right now, but, I always give him so much credit because everything started with the idea that he gave me. His name is Masner, and I hope he's on the call, but he's not. He probably doesn't even know, but he knows that he's a part of this. And he just tells me, he's like, bro, he's on the call and he's telling me, he's like, yo, bro, we've been seeing you start this little morning routine. Your energy's high every day in the chats. We just see everything that this routine has done for you and everything that you're learning. Like, yo, why don't you wake up in the morning and help us get our day started? I think the team really needs that. And I'm like, yeah, bro, for sure. No problem. Tomorrow we could start. He like, I asked him, I'm like, yo, what time should we do? He like, yo, let's do it at 9 a.m. every day. And in reality, what people don't know about Mornings with Neno was only supposed to be a summer thing. They only asked me, my leaders only asked me to do it for the summer. So they're like, yo, for this summer, help us get our day started every morning at 9 a.m. So I was only supposed to do Mornings with Nano for about 3 months, and then it was going to stop. So I committed that every day, Monday through Friday, that I was going to do. At the time, it was called Morning Masterminds, right? It was called Morning Masterminds. That's what they were really called. And I would jump on a call Monday through Friday and do a morning mastermind for my team, just exclusively for the people on my team. And I would help people get their day started. That idea was given to me on June 19th. So I started Mornings with Neno the next day, which was June 20th. The first call, there were probably like 20 to 25 people on the first call, and we did a morning mastermind. It went great. Okay. And then I committed to it. So I started to do these calls every day, Monday through Friday. And what ended up happening was in the chats, in the chats, everybody's always having fun and laughing. And everybody just started doing this thing where they started calling it, instead of calling the morning masterminds, they were like, yo, I love mornings with Nano. 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 And I'm like, yo, I actually like the sound of that. So then that's where the name Mornings with Nano came about. Yo, every morning we're jumping on and we're learning from Nano. Long story short, guys, from there, I was like, you know what, since I'm just teaching about mindset and nobody else was doing it, I didn't just want to keep it, exclusively just for my team. I was like, yo, let's open it up and let's help everybody. Let's help everybody else's team. Let's help other companies. Let's allow, your friends, your family, people who are going to work. I didn't want it to just be something strictly just for people that were in my network marketing business. I wanted it to be a call that was open for everybody, right? That anybody can learn from it, whether you were a business owner, whether you were an employee, whether you were just somebody that wanted to learn, whether you were in real estate, whatever you were in. I wanted it to be a mindset call open to everybody. So I started to share it with everybody. So people from all over the world started to hop on, and it was absolutely incredible. What started with, a couple of people on the calls, then turned into hundreds of people. Then what started with just a couple of hundreds of people, then it started opening up to thousands of people. Okay. And I remember I went from just training my company to then training hundreds of companies. I went from just training people who were in business to training people from all other businesses and all other companies. And everything used to just be incredibly. And then a lot of people ask me, how did this really blow up? So the way Mornings with Neno really blew up was during COVID. Okay. Prior to COVID, I only had a couple hundred people, right? I only had a couple hundred people jumping on Mornings with Nano. I would say about 200 to 300 people would jump on Mornings with Nano prior to COVID. Now, as you guys know, COVID came, the pandemic happened, millions of people lost their jobs. Okay. Everybody was at home and everybody was just trying to find something positive to listen to every single day. And because I was the only one doing these positive, mindset calls, everybody started to share them everywhere. So people were just sharing them in their chats, in their telegrams, in their Instagrams. They were sharing it in their discords. They started just sharing these calls every morning at 9 a.m. because they were consistent. This was a call that you can count on. You knew that every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., I was going to be there. Okay. And now we do them at 10, but back then it was 9 a.m. And it just started to grow. And next thing you know, calls that turned into, that were just once 200, 300 people were now, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people were jumping on Mornings with Neno. Like, guys, during the whole COVID pandemic in 2020, that was 4 years ago, on like a 3,000 people on a call was a bad call. You see, now we get 200, 300 people, but back then, remember, everybody was at home. So everybody was waking up, okay, to jump on Mornings with Nano. Like, it was almost like when you jump on to, for your favorite show and you can't miss your favorite show. Like, that was almost like, what Mornings with Nano turned out to be. And I ended up having, huge speakers jump on my call, individuals like Bob Proctor. We had the Alex Mortons of the world, the Matt Rosas. I see Mina's here with me. Mina used to be my backup. If I couldn't jump on Mornings with Nano or I had a flight, I would call Mina like, yo, Mina, can you fill in real quick? Then it's, Mina had her own little thing where it was Mornings with Mina and she was a great backup. And then the podcast became a thing. And, I have my sister who's on this call. Her name is Jasmine. She deserves a lot of credit, because Jasmine was on it with me from the very beginning as well. And, Jasmine was also a part of my network. No, she wasn't a part of my network marketing business, but she was a part of the company that I was in at the time. And she reaches out to me and she was like, yo, Mornings with Nano changed my life. I went to school for production and you're missing out on a huge opportunity to go global. She was like, yo, let me help you create a podcast out of this. And, I'm going to come to your house. I have all the material. I have all the equipment. All you got to do is do exactly what you've been doing on these morning calls on Zoom, but just speak it into the mic. So Jasmine would come to my mom's house, literally put a mic in front of me and a mic in front of her, and she would be like, speak, do the exact same trainings that you're doing on these calls, do them into this mic. And dude, I just started to do exactly what she told me. And we did training after training after training after training. And I had no idea. This girl just believed in me out of nowhere. We knew each other from afar, but, she just saw something that I didn't see. And next thing you know, boom, she started posting them on Apple, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, on iHeartRadio, you name it, and it completely blew up. Mornings with Neno came from just being something that was in the United States to being a top podcast, top 100 in the United States, top 100 in Europe. I mean, we were ranked in the top 10 in certain countries that a lot of people don't even know about. And it was all thanks to Jasmine. So, Jasmine, I know you're on this call, and I want to just say publicly that I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for believing in me. I know I sent you a message earlier, but, here publicly, I want you to know that my heart and my gratitude for you goes deeper than words could ever describe. You believed in me when nobody else did, and you helped me expand, and you've indirectly impacted so many people worldwide that you don't even know. Like, they know who you are in the Netherlands. They know who you are in France. They know who you are all over Europe. They know who Jasmine is because of what you did for the Mornings with Nano community. So we thank you so much for that. Sana also played a huge role. I don't know if you guys know Sana, but Sana was taking care of all the notes. You have to be an OG to remember Sana. But look, let me tell you guys something. Sana is somebody, for those that don't know, Sana would be on this call right now, and she would be taking all the notes, all the notes, all the notes, all the notes, and then she would drop them after the call. So she was like very, very good at what she did. And, Sana's another person that, I could not honestly do this without her. Like, she played such a huge role in the success of Mornings with Nano. She still to this day supports me. She loves me. She still sends me messages. Sana is truly one of a kind. She's from the UK. She was a cop working full-time a job. Think about this. She was a cop working a full-time job, jumping on Mornings with Neno. And guess what, guys? Today, she is the head of marketing, okay, for $1 billion company. And you know how she got that job, okay? Because people met her through Mornings with Nano. Somebody loved her consistency. So everybody loved her ability to turn information. And she went from being a cop to now being a head of marketing for a $1 billion company. Yeah, she was a cop. Yeah, she was a cop. And funny story, the first time I ever went to the UK, I was driving on the, how we drive on the left-hand side of the street. Over there, you drive on the right hand side. And on the first time, she let me drive her car, and I hit a parked car in the parking lot, which was so funny. I'll never forget that. But Sana is there's just so many people to thank, guys. So many people to thank. I wish I could thank everybody, but I want to thank those people in particular: Jasmine, Sana, my brother Hansel as well, who played a huge part in the growth of it. And then, yeah, it was funny, but there's just so many people to thank here, guys. And I just want to say I'm so grateful, for it all. Everybody that played a part, everybody who ever showed love, shared it, and you know what? A lot of people have duplicated it too. I want you guys to know there's been a lot of people who have duplicated, like morning masterminds. Have they all lasted? No, but they tried, and I'm grateful that I was able to inspire other teams, other organizations, other companies to start doing morning calls. And that's kind of like how the numbers on the calls started to go down a little bit, because I guess leaders and companies started to feel some type of way that everybody's company, everybody's team, everybody's people were on my calls. And they were like, well, we can do the same thing he's doing. So they kind of started to take people off my calls and kind of do their own thing. But I'm not bitter. I love everybody anyways. And I'm grateful that they were able to see that what I was doing, they can also do as well, and they didn't see it for an abundance mindset. They had like a scarcity mindset. And, It's not easy to show up every day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, and not get paid for years. I didn't get paid for years, guys. I want you guys to know this. I did mornings with Nano for free for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I recently just got a deal where, my company partnered up with me and gave me a deal to be an educator for our company now. But, prior to that, I did it all for free for 4 years. I never charged anybody a dollar. I never made any money off of it at all. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people that were a part of it as well, we all did it voluntarily. It was just, let's give, let's give, let's give. So, that's the story behind Mornings with Neno and how it started, and how it is today. And look at what it's done for me today, guys. The fact that I've showed up every single day for the last 5 years, it's crazy, because like I said, it was only supposed to be a summer thing. I was only supposed to do it for summer of 2019. But the thing was, I went to an event in Dallas, September, and the feedback that I got from that event, like, everybody was telling me, like, bro, you can't stop doing Mornings with Nano. Like, if it wasn't for this, like, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And through this, I found my purpose. I found my purpose in helping people. I found my purpose in, helping people grow and see the best versions of themselves, and, helping people solve their problems. I've had people come up to me and tell me that, because of my calls, they stopped themselves from committing suicide. I've had people come up to me and tell me that I've helped them come out of dark places, help them grow. I've helped develop 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners. I have people on my calls that hit 7 figures in their business before I ever hit 7 figures, based off of the information. So, it's been amazing, guys. And I've traveled to, 26 different countries sharing this story. The podcast is ranked, nationally. Everybody knows about it. I get stopped on the streets now. I get stopped at airports. I get stopped at restaurants, and people are like, yo, you're Mornings with Neno, right? It really is a beautiful thing. And I only share that with you guys so you guys can know the history of it, but you guys can also see what's possible if you never stop. I want you guys to see what's possible if you stick to something, if you fall in love with something, and if you do something, okay, with true passion, with true purpose, and with true selflessness. You'll see that people will always appreciate that, fam. And I don't say that to brag about myself and my success and what I've been able to do here. It's more to let you guys know that any one of you guys can put your mind to something, fall in love with your purpose, and just dedicate a lot of time to it, and do it with no payment, with no anything in return, and just do it to help other people. And trust me, it'll be worth more than any amount of money could ever give you. I would do Mornings with Neno for free today if I wanted, if I still had to. You know why? Because the payment comes from the testimonials. That's my payment. Okay, I take the money, but my real payment in this comes from the testimonial. It comes from people coming up to me and telling me, Neno, because of you, you changed my life. Because of Mornings with Neno, because of the books, because of the audios, because of your consistency. That's my payment right there. My payment isn't the money. I take the money, obviously, whatever. But the real success, the real fulfillment comes from the stories, the testimonials, and everything that, God has put me in the position to do, guys. So again, thank you guys again for, the 5 years. I share this moment with you guys because you guys are the only ones I want to share it with. I don't really, promote it like, oh, whatever, this is for us. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. So that's the story behind Mornings with Neno. That's how it all started. Now let's go into a training. So if you guys are ready for a training now, put a 555 in the chat, right? Because I was wondering, I'm like, yo, what do I talk about? It's a 5-year anniversary. What do you say? Obviously I'll tell a little bit of the story, but I said, what do we talk about? And the first thing that came to my mind was paying the price, right? The first thing that came to my mind was you got to pay the price. Right. So what I want to talk about today on the 5-year anniversary of Mornings with Neno is paying the price for success. OK, and it's something that I've learned over the years is that all of us got to pay the price. Nobody is excluded from this. OK, if you want something, there's a price tag that comes attached to it, and everybody got to pay that price. And the first thing that I learned when it comes to paying the price is the first lesson I'm going to teach you guys here on this call today. I want you guys to write this down. And a lot of you guys, if you know me, you know that I've taught this many times, okay? When it comes to paying the price, the first thing you got to understand is this, okay? You have to learn to work without getting paid so that you can get paid without work in the future, okay? I'm gonna repeat that again. The first thing I learned about paying the price, all right? There's 5 things I learned about paying the price. I'm gonna go over all 5, but I'm gonna talk about the first one first. The first one states that you gotta learn to work without getting paid so that you can get paid without work in the future. You see, when I first got started with my entrepreneurship journey, my mentor taught me that lesson. And the reason he taught me that lesson was because I was complaining. I was in the car, I was in the back of the car, and I was complaining. And I remember complaining. I was like, man, I'm putting in all the work. I'm doing what's required. I'm showing up on the trainings. I'm reading the books. I'm prospecting people. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, bro. But the results are not showing up. Right? Has anybody else ever felt like that? Right? Type me in the chat box if you ever felt like that. Like, yo, you're doing the work. You're showing up. You're going to the events. You're doing the trainings. You're reading the books. You're going to the gym. You're doing what's required, but for some reason, the results are not showing up. And that was what I was dealing with at the time. I was complaining to my mentor, and I was telling him like, yo, bro, I'm doing all the work. Like, what's up, man? Like, this sucks. Like, I'm showing up every day. Like, I've gone to all the events. I've invested more money than I've actually made. Okay. Like, what's going on here? Talk to me, bro. Like, I need somebody to explain something to me. And then he said, I'm going to teach you something that, you're never going to forget. And he was right. He said, yo, in this business and in life, you have to learn to work without getting paid so that you can get paid without work. And at the time I said, yo, I need you to explain that to me because I didn't really get it. He was like, you see, you've been trained, and just like everybody else has been trained, that you work, and then you get paid, right? And we all been programmed to, work 5 days a week or get paid, or work, 2 weeks and get paid bi-weekly and get paid. So when you join entrepreneurship, when you join network marketing, when you join a lot of these, businesses at the beginning, you work, no pay. You work, and there's no pay. So you kind of, it's so different. It's something that you're not used to, that in the beginning, it kind of frustrates you. Because imagine working all these hours, but not making any money from it. Imagine investing all this money and seeing no return. But he said the special ones learn to work without getting paid. And I remember falling in love with the idea of it after that. I said, okay, I got to learn to work without getting paid. I haven't learned how to work without getting paid yet. So I'm going to work without getting paid. So what did I do? I started to do everything with no expectation of return. You know what? I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to do my morning routine. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to these audios. I'm going to study. I'm going to go to these events. I'm going to pay my membership every month. I'm going to do what's required every month. And even though I'm not getting paid yet, I'm teaching myself how to work without getting paid. Because at the end of the day, if I want to be successful, I got to pay the price. So no matter what, if this is part of the process of what I got to pay to get to where I want to go to, I'm going to pay for it. And every day I just showed up and I paid the price every day. I paid the price every day. Every time I read that book, I paid that price. Every session I hopped on, I paid the price. Every day was a part of me paying the price to get to where I wanted to go to. But look at the beauty of it. As the years started to go and the months started to pass, I started to make money. I started to make money. I started to make more. So today, like he said, Neno, if you learn to work without getting paid, eventually in the future, you will get paid without work. Now, there's 2 sides to the get paid without work. Now, what do I mean by there's 2 sides to it? When you love what you do, it's not work, okay? So when he says you're going to get paid without work, it means that, hey, you're going to get paid without work because it's not going to be work. It's going to be your passion. Mornings with Neno is my passion. I love doing this. So the fact that I get paid for this now is an absolute blessing because I do this because I love this. I receive the payment, like Jim Rohn says. I take the money. I don't need the money, but I take the money. But the real payments come from the success stories, the testimonials, and the things that happen. So I get paid now without work because I do what I love. But on top of that as well, I also do receive money because of the work that I've done over the last 4 years. Today, I can take a month off and I can go travel the world. I can go stay on the beaches of Mexico and Barcelona and so on and so forth. And guess what? I'll still get paid because of the work that I did for 4 years without getting paid. That's the beauty of working without pay. And a lot of us in the beginning of our journey, the price that we're paying is the price that we got to pay to grow ourselves. So there's no payment for that. You're not going to receive no return on investment in the beginning when you're first getting started, because a lot of what you're doing when you first getting started is you're paying off debt. You're paying off debt. This is something I didn't understand. In the beginning, you pay debt. You're not paying for anything else. You're paying for the debt because of everything that you ever said that you were going to do that you didn't do. For all those days that you didn't keep your word. For all those days that you didn't show up to those events. For all those missed opportunities. For all those days that you didn't go to the gym. For all those things that you did that you said you weren't going to do. Now you got to pay debt. So in the beginning, I started off in the negatives because I had to pay debt in the beginning. A lot of us, what's happening right now when you get started with your journey and you're working and you're not seeing results is that you're paying debt. That's what you're doing. You're not getting nothing in return. You know why? Because your account is negative. All right? Your account is negative. Imagine a negative bank account. The only way to get your account back to positive is by paying off what you owe first. So when I started my journey, I was paying off what I owed first. All those days that I didn't show up, all those days that I didn't keep my word, all those days that I said I was going to go to the gym and I didn't go to the gym, all those books that I said I was going to read that I didn't read, all those things, all those traumas, all those experiences, all of that, I had to pay that off first. So that's why in the beginning, you got to learn to work without getting paid, because in the beginning, for most people's journey, you're paying off debt that you accumulated based off of your actions and your choices. And that's what I want all of us to understand here. Today, yes, is my account in the positives today? Yes. Is my account good and healthy? Yes. But it took years of paying things off. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of books. It took a lot of podcasts. It took a lot of events. It took a lot of studying. It took a lot of mentorship calls. It took a lot of those things in the beginning for my account now to be in the positive. But remember, you just got to learn to work without getting paid. You got to love to do it. It's almost like an internship, right? Anybody ever done an internship, right? I've never done it, but I know how internship works. You do a lot of work and you don't get paid for it majority of the time, right? That's how it is. But this is a life internship. Okay. You're going to work, and you might not get paid right away. But you got to embrace that. Because remember, the only payment you need is not a money payment. The payment that you need is the payment from God. God is going to approve that. All you need is God's approval. Your growth is the payment. Your connection with God is the payment. That's your return on investment. Don't look for physical and materialistic returns on investment. Everything else will come. Trust me, it works. Trust me. Every action you take, there will be a reaction. You will get your money back. You will make all your money back. You will get a huge return on investment. Trust me. But you got to invest and you got to be willing to go out there. So always remember that. One of the biggest lessons I learned when it came to paying the price was you got to learn to work without getting paid. The moment you work without getting paid, eventually in the future, you're going to get paid without work. That's number one. Okay. That's number one. Number two, okay, there needs to be a commitment to sacrifice. Okay. I learned this lesson here that said, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. I'll repeat that again. If you do not sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. And I remember listening to that for the first time. Remember, there's a price we got to pay. We all got to pay a price to get to where we want to go to. You want that house, you want that car, you want that private school for your kids. You want to travel the world, you want that big rank. Okay, you want that big promotion at your job. There are sacrifices that need to be made in order for you to get to those things. That's part of paying the price. Okay, so when I heard that quote and it said, I'll repeat it one more time for anyone who missed it. You have to sacrifice for what you want. If not, what you want will become the sacrifice. So I thought about it and then I connected the dots going backwards. I'm like, okay, if I don't sacrifice for what I want, then the things that I want become the sacrifice. What do I want? At the time, and still to this day, I want to retire my family, buy them a house in the Dominican Republic. I want to live in a beach condo. I want to drive this car. I want to give back to this community. I want to travel to this. I want to have this promotion. I want to help this many people on my team. I want to do this. I want to do that. These are all the things that I want out of life. So what you're telling me is that if I don't sacrifice for those things, then those things become the sacrifice. Those things, when I say those things become the sacrifices, those things are taken from me. Those become the sacrifice. Those get rid of. So that means I won't be able to retire my mom and dad. I won't be able to buy them the house. I won't be able to set a future for my kids. I won't be able to live in that condo. I won't be able to drive that car. I won't be able to help my people. I won't be able to do this, do that, travel here, do that. So those are going to become the sacrifices if I don't sacrifice now. So I remember saying, you know what? I can't let those things be the sacrifice. I can't sacrifice the house that I promised my mom and dad. I can't sacrifice the success that I promised my team and the leaders in my organizations. I can't sacrifice the generational wealth that I want to create for my kids and my kids' kids. So I got to make the sacrifices now, right? Everybody type now in the chat box if you are making the sacrifices right now for your family, for your kids, for your future, for your happiness, for your peace, for your significant other, right? We got to make the sacrifices now. And you know what some of those sacrifices come with? It comes with sacrificing people. It comes with sacrificing sleep. It comes with sacrificing the things that no longer serve you, sacrificing smoking, sacrificing drinking, sacrificing weekends. It came with a lot of sacrifice. You know how many people I had to cut off? I had to sacrifice friends. Okay. I had to sacrifice sleep. You know, people say sleep is important, and it is. But guys, you know how many times I was literally operating on 5-6 hours of sleep? So many times I sacrificed sleep because I wanted to spend as much time working on myself as I could. So for me, I was like, man, if I sleep 8 hours, I only have 16 hours to work. So for me, I was like, yo, I'm only going to sleep 5-6 hours so I can be able to have 18 to 19 hours to work. I was just so obsessed. So I was willing to sacrifice sleep. I was willing to sacrifice negative friends. You know, I had a lot of negative friends that didn't believe, that didn't have faith, that didn't want to do the work, that just wanted to do this. I had to sacrifice friends Not forever, it wasn't like I sacrificed them and I cut them off and they're not my friends anymore, but I had to sacrifice time away from them because they didn't want the same things as me. Okay. I had to sacrifice relationships that weren't in alignment with me. I remember at the time I was in a relationship for almost 5 years. I had to sacrifice that. Okay. It wasn't working out. I outgrew the person and they no longer wanted to grow. And as much as it hurt me and as much as I didn't want to, it was something I had to sacrifice. Okay. I had to sacrifice weekends out with my friends. I had to sacrifice smoking. I had to sacrifice so much so that I can become the person that I am today. So if I'm on this call with you today, I want you to know that it's going to take sacrifices. And I was willing to do it. And it's hard. And it's hard because you think I wanted to sacrifice those friends. You think I wanted to sacrifice my weekends out. You think I wanted to sacrifice the smoking sessions with my friends and sacrifice relationships. I didn't want to, but it was a decision that I had to make because if not, the things that I wanted were going to become a sacrifice. You see, I could live with temporarily sacrificing these things right now, but what I can't live with is the fact that I didn't do what I told my parents and my friends and my team that I said I would do. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And I know it's the same with you guys. I know we could live with the fact that, hey, we sacrificed some temporary time away from friends, family, significant others, and so on and so forth. But you wouldn't be able to live with yourself if you don't live up to the promise that you made your family, that you made your parents, that you made your kids, and that you made your team. You won't be able to live with that. It'll haunt you forever. So sometimes you got to make those sacrifices. No matter how hard they are, no matter how much they hurt, no matter how much it is that, it's going to bother you, you got to make the sacrifice. You got to be committed to it. And it's not just a one-time sacrifice. It's every day. I still to this day make those sacrifices, guys. I'm 5-6 years in. Still to this day, I make sacrifices. Okay. I'm making sacrifices every single day because guess what? I still have things that I want to accomplish. And if I don't sacrifice for the things that I want, the things that I want become the sacrifice. Okay. You got to be committed to it. And you can't be scared to make the sacrifice. Making sacrifices is uncomfortable, but you got to live uncomfortable. That's the name of the game. So be willing to sacrifice for what you want. Be willing. And some of you guys on this call, start those sacrifices this summer. You have a great opportunity to start some sacrifices this summer. Sacrifice some sleep. You don't got to do it every day, but sacrifice it every once in a while. Sacrifice some friends. Sacrifice those negative relationships. Sacrifice money. Money's a huge sacrifice you got to make. Imagine investing into something, and not seeing any return for a little bit. I had to sacrifice money. I invested a lot back into myself without seeing any return. Dude, I maxed out credit cards, sacrificing money into what? Into pouring into myself. People thought I was crazy, but I did it. I remember when, I went to the bank, I went to the Bank of America and they approved me for a $5,000 credit line. I was broke living at my parents' house and they gave me a $5,000 credit line. I didn't go out and spend those $5,000 on designer. You know what I spent those $5,000 on? I spent it on events. I spent it on books. I spent it on courses. I spent it on, I went to Macy's, got myself 3 nice, fully booted suits with shoes and ties and this and that. I got them tailored. I invested into myself. And you know what I told myself? I'm like, yo, one day we'll pay off that 5,000. But right now, I need to invest back into myself. Right? And guess what? In the beginning of my journey, I made those sacrifices. Not saying to go and max out your credit card. Remember, guys, don't take my advice. I was crazy enough to do it because I knew that one day it would pay off. I believed in myself that much that I said, you know what? One day I'll pay off that 5,000. But right now, I'm making the sacrifice. That was me. I was willing to do it. Not like I said, I'll repeat it again. I'm not telling you to go out there and sacrifice and max out your credit. It's not smart. It is actually very stupid to do that. Okay. But At the time, because I chose I wasn't going to work a job, that was the decision that I chose to make. And I said, yo, I'm going to make it happen. And it worked out in my favor. Well, does it always work out for everybody? Probably not. Okay. But it worked out for me. And today we've paid all that off. Today we've paid off those credit cards, and, credit is in a lot better place than it was years ago. But, I made those sacrifices back then. I sacrificed money. I sacrificed time. I sacrificed people, energy, relationships, things. And those are the things we got to do. That's part of paying the price for what you got to go to. You can ask any successful person. You could go and ask them, yo, did you have to sacrifice to get to where you want to go to? And all of them, 10 out of 10 people will tell you yes. It takes sacrifice, guys. So that's number two. That's the second thing I learned about paying the price, is that it's going to take sacrifice. Part of paying the price is making massive sacrifices to get to where you want to go to. Had to sacrifice a lot to build up Mornings with Neno over the years. So that's number two. Number three, in order for you to pay the price, you need to have resilience in challenges. Resilience when it comes to the challenges. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat box if you got any challenges in your life right now. Anybody going through any challenges right now, put a 1 in the chat box. I'll put some 1s in the chat boxes as well, because we all dealing with challenges, I'm pretty sure, right? Anybody else dealing with some challenges right now, whether it's financial challenges, business challenges, relationship challenges, mental challenges, emotional challenges, physical challenges, right? We all dealing with some kind of challenges, right? Part of paying the price is being resilient in the challenges, right? Resilient. You know what resilience is? Is being able to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm, without losing that, right? That's what resilience is. Resilience during the challenges. And let me tell you guys, there were so many days that I jumped on Mornings with Neno that I dealt with challenges, but I showed up every day regardless. There were so many days I had bad days, but I showed up. I had to be resilient even in the face of challenges. And this has been one of the hardest things, not only for me, but for a lot of people in this journey. Okay. You got to remember, guys, most people won't show up when they're going through challenges, but we are not most people. We are special and we are chosen. Okay. Success is not for the chosen few. It's for the few who chose. Okay. Success is not for the chosen few. It's for the few who chose. We chose to be successful. We chose to go out and create the life of our dreams. So when you choose that, you got to remember that it comes with the journey. And every journey comes with dark days, rainy days, heartbreaks. You name it, it comes with it. People backstabbing you. Guys, some of the closest people to me backstabbed me. People that in reality I thought were going to be my life partners, like life business partners. Like, they looked me in my eyes. I brought them to my house. I introduced them to my family, my mom, my dad. I invested into them. Backstabbed me. I love them still to this day because, like God says and Jesus said in the Bible, they don't know any better, so forgive them. I forgave them and I'm at peace with it. But it's hard when you have people that you love turn their backs on you. People that gave you their word turn their back on you. That hurts. No matter how hard and how much I was able to keep the poker face through it, deep down inside, they took a little piece of me. It really broke me deep inside. You sometimes you don't expect those things. You know what my mentor once told me? He said, Neno, you don't get your heart broken, you get your expectations broken. And I was like, damn. I'll repeat it again. You don't get your heart broken, you get your expectations broken. And it's the truth, because you expected more from that person. You expected that person to be real. You expected that person to have your back. You expected that person to actually be there for you. And when they're not there for you, when they don't have your back, when they don't keep their word, when they don't do what they said that they were going to do, they break those expectations and it hurts and it sucks. And guess what? Throughout the journey, you're going to deal with that. You're going to deal with certain people that are not going to be as truthful as they once said. You're going to deal with people who don't keep their word. You're going to deal with people that are going to break your heart. It's part of the game. You know what we always we used to have this thing back then, and I still use it to this day. It was this saying that we would say, "Yo, charge it to the game." You know, anything bad happen, charge it to the game. Yo, you lost that trade, charge it to the game. You made a bad investment, charge it to the game. You know, this person left your business, charge it to the game. You went through this, charge it to the game. We used to just say, "Yo, just charge it to the game." Charge it to the game, charge it to the game, charge it to the game, because it is part of the game, you know. And it comes, and those are part of the challenges that you're going to deal with. You know, you're going to deal with challenges that, you know, you're going to deal with personal challenges, bad habits that you're not going to, it's going to be hard for you to get rid of. You know, you're going to have to deal with traumatic experiences that, you know, you had in the past that you're going to have to face in the future. Those are challenges you're going to have to face. You're going to have to face relationship challenges where your significant other is not going to believe in you and things happen and all of that stuff. You're going to deal with all of that stuff. You're going to deal with business challenges. You're going to deal with leadership challenges. You're going to deal with spiritual challenges. There's so many different challenges. You're going to deal with physical challenges. You're going to deal with all types of challenges. A lot of them. You know why? Because that's what's required for you to grow. You can't grow without a challenge. And the sad thing is, and I don't want to say the sad thing, but the fortunate part of it is that that's what's required in order for you to grow. The only way for us to grow is for God to challenge us. I had to get challenged spiritually so I can get closer to God. Had to get challenged emotionally so I can grow in my emotional intelligence. Had to get challenged in my leadership so I can become a better leader. You know, I had to get challenged in my physical body so I can grow and I can focus on doing the right things with my body. You know, I had to get challenged in so many different areas in my life, but they all happened to help me grow. And now I'm able to change my perspective on challenges because I know that everything that happens is happening for me. It's not happening to me. It's happening for me. It's happening to help me grow. So if you're going through a challenge right now in your life, it's there to help you grow. Be happy about it. Be grateful. Be thankful. Look for the positive in the challenge because it's there to help you. And that's part of paying the price. That's part of paying the price. If right now you're being challenged spiritually, it's because you need to get closer to your creator. You know, if you're being challenged spiritually right now, it's because you need to grow closer to God. You're too far away from God. You need to get closer to him so he can help you. Okay. If you're being challenged emotionally, it's because right now your emotional intelligence is weak. You need to get better at your emotional intelligence. If you're being challenged in your leadership, it's because you need to become a better leader. If you're being challenged in your business, it's because you need to try out and attempt new different strategies and techniques with your business. Right? If you're being challenged in your relationship, is because guess what? Maybe you're slipping up on your relationship. You're not paying attention as much. You need to be paying more attention to your relationship. If you're being challenged with your family, you need to pay attention to why you're being challenged. Every single one of you guys that are being challenged on this call, you're being challenged because you need to be better in that specific area. Pay attention to the challenge and what it's teaching you, not to what's happening. What's going to happen is going to happen to everybody. It's what you get from what's happening. Okay? I've gone through so many different challenges, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, in all different areas. I've been challenged financially more times than I can count. Why? Because I need to budget myself better. I need to save more money. I need to invest more money. I need to do this. I need to give more money. Like, I've been challenged because of that. God has taken away from me so much money because I don't know how to manage my money. I don't know how to budget it. So he has challenged me in those areas. And you know what the craziest part about it is? God will teach you the same lesson over and over and over again until you learn it. I've been taught the same lessons more than twice, more than 3 times, 4 times, 5 times until I learned it. And that's how it is. If you don't learn the lesson, God will continue to teach you the lesson over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you learn it. So sometimes if you feel like, yo, it's just the same lesson, it's because you haven't learned your lesson yet. You keep not managing your money properly. You keep overreacting to certain situations. So that's why your emotional intelligence sucks. That's why you keep attracting, bad relationships, bad people into your life, because you have not learned your lesson yet. And you know what? Once you learn your lesson, God lets you live. God lets you be at peace. But until then, you're going to keep going through those lessons. So you got to be resilient during the challenges. And you know what? Some of us are going to be challenged more than others. I've been challenged a lot. You guys see me as Mornings with Neno, and, you guys see me as the mindset guy and the mindset whatever and so on and so forth. But guys, let me tell you guys something. I've had to face a lot of demons. I had to fight a lot of things in the dark that you guys have no idea about. Trust me, it's not easy. And I know a lot of us in here deal with specific challenges, and I want you guys to know that I'm with you, and I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. I know what it's like to feel like, your prayers aren't being answered. I know what it's like to feel like you're alone. I know what it's like to, cry yourself to bed and fight those demons every single day and night. I know it's hard, but you got to stay resilient during those challenges. Those challenges are there to make you better, right? That's the key, right? It says it in the Bible, John 13:7. You may not understand what I'm doing now, but later you will. You may not understand why everything is happening to you the way that it's happening to you right now, but later you will. And for me, it's later. I see now why I went through everything that I went through in my life in the past. I know why I went through those business challenges, those financial challenges, those relationship challenges, those physical challenges. Now I understand. Back then, I couldn't understand. Why did God take away my income? Why did God, take away this person from my life? Why did God challenge my business? Why did God break my heart? Why did I couldn't understand it back then, but now I do. And when you make it past the storm and the rain stops and the rainbow shows up, you'll understand then. But if you're in the rain right now, just know it's okay. And some of us, we're going to be in the rain with no umbrella and no coat. And it's going to be cold and it's going to be dark and it's going to be hard. But you know what you do? You stay strong and you grow closer to God in those moments. God heals every broken heart that's out there. Trust me. But you got to stay strong. You can't fold. You can't switch. You can't give up. No matter how hard it gets, you don't give up. Never give up. Because think about it, guys. Imagine if I gave up. We wouldn't be celebrating 5 years of Mornings with Neno. I wouldn't have impacted the thousands of lives. I wouldn't have traveled to the 26 different countries. My podcast would have never been ranked the top 100. I would have never been able to partner with $1 billion company to become a mindset educator for them. I would have never been able to do the things that I did had I quit. So look at what God blessed me with because I stayed consistent during the storms. Imagine what God has for you after you stay consistent during these storms. Keep that in mind. That's the key. So that's number 3. Okay, 2 more and we're out of here. Okay, number 4. All right, when it comes to paying the price. When it comes to paying the price, you got to remember that there's something called delayed gratification. Okay, delayed gratification. And what do I mean by that? It's going to take time. I know you guys have heard this before. I know you guys hear this all the time. But in reality, this is something that you got to come to terms with and you got to accept. The sooner you accept it, the better it is. You got to accept that it's going to take time, that it's going to take a lot of time sometimes. Because sometimes the thing is, like I said, we were taught that we do things and then we get paid. But what we got to understand that the success that we want is delayed because we need to earn it. We need to deserve it. In life, we don't get what we want. In life, we get what we deserve. If you have not gotten what you wanted yet, it's because you don't deserve it yet. That was a smack in the face that I needed early in my career. When my mentor said that to me, he said, in life, you don't get what you want, Nano. I know you want the car. I know you want to retire your family. I know you want to provide a better life for them. I know you want to travel. I know you want this. But in life, you don't get what you want, bro. You get what you deserve. Okay? You get what you deserve. And that's the reality of the situation. You know why you haven't bought your mom and dad that house yet? Because you don't deserve it yet. You know why you don't live in that beach condo that you want yet? Because you don't deserve it yet. You know why you're not making this amount of money yet? Because you don't deserve it yet. You know why you haven't created generational wealth for your family? Because you don't deserve it yet. If you would have deserved it, you would have had it already. So focus on making sure that you become deserving. And what's part of becoming deserving is the consistent effort every single day, showing up. Today, I have great things. He told me that when I was broke living at my parents' house. But today, I have my own apartment condo here in Doral, Florida. Right? Today, I travel all around the world. Today, I make a certain amount of money. Today, I have my own brand. Today, I have this. Today, I have that. Today, I have all of these things. But why? Because I deserve it. Because I deserve it. The only reason I have everything I have today is because I truly deserved it. I worked for it. I showed up for it. And the only days that count in this journey are the days where it's hard. Remember, if you can show up when it's easy, great. You're showing up when it's easy, but can you show up when it's hard? Can you show up when people are doubting you? Can you show up when your family's doubting you and talking down on you? Can you show up when you just took that bad loss? Can you show up when people leave your business? Can you continue to show up even though you're in an argument, you're going through a tough time? That's what makes you deserving. Every day that you don't show up for yourself, you're making yourself less deserving. Every time that you say you're going to read a book and you don't read that book, you're less deserving. Every time you put your word on something and you don't keep that word, that makes you less deserving. Every time you do something and you don't keep your word on it and you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're making yourself less deserving, which is going to delay the process even longer for you to get what you want. It's already delayed. So become deserving. How do you become deserving? By doing what you said you would do, even after the feeling fades. You got to do what you said you're going to do, guys. And that's part of what? Paying the price, having patience. One of my favorite quotes is that love and patience is the same exact thing. Why do I say that love and patience is the same exact thing? Well, you got to think about it. You got to love what you do. If you love what you do, you'll have the patience to wait it out. Okay. All right. And if you have the patience long enough to wait it out, eventually you'll fall in love with what you do. Patience and love is the same thing. You got to have the patience to fall in love. And then once you fall in love, you'll be willing to wait. I had to be patient in the beginning. I didn't love what I did in the beginning. I didn't love personal development. I didn't love network marketing in the beginning. I didn't love these things in the beginning, but I was patient in the beginning. I was patient. I waited. I said, you know what? Let me see. Right? Remember, you got to be patient until you fall in love. So I was patient. I did the calls Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for, I would honestly say, for a couple of maybe a year or two before I actually fell in love with doing. You think I loved waking up every day, Monday through Friday, to pour into other people? In the beginning, I didn't. I remember in the beginning, I would complain like, damn, bro, I committed to these calls 5 days a week now, and now I got to do these calls. I didn't love it in the beginning, but I had to have patience. And every day I showed up regardless. I kept my word though. Even though I didn't like it, even though I wasn't happy about it in the beginning, I stayed patient. And then because I was patient enough, eventually I fell in love with it. And now think about it. When you love something, you're willing to wait until it all unfolds. So because I fell in love with what I did, I was willing to wait until the day that I partnered with a company, until the day that Jasmine came around and helped me, turn it into a podcast. I was patient until I started getting, paid for speaking engagements and all of these things. I was patient. Okay. I was patient. I understood that it was going to be delayed. So you got remember, love and patience is the same thing. You got to be patient until you fall in love. And then after you fall in love, you got to have the patience to wait for all of it to unfold. It's the reality of the situation. That's how it works. It's the same thing in relationships. We wait. We love that person. We're willing to wait for that person to change sometimes. We're willing to wait until that person gets back on their feet, or willing to wait until that person gets their career to take off. It's called love and patience. It's the same thing. You got to love what you do, have the patience, and then the patience will help you get to what you're unfold. It's called delayed gratification. It is part of paying the price. Okay, that's number 4. Who's still with me? Put a number 4 in the chat box if you guys are still with me. I'm gonna give you guys the last one and we're done here. You got to pay the price, family. This is what it takes to pay the price. I've paid the price for years. You got to pay the price as well. All right. And then last but not least, number 5, since we're going about the 5 ways, to pay the price during this journey, let's talk about number 5. And then number 5 is a very simple one, so we could wrap it up. Number 5 is you got to have the long-term vision when it comes to paying the price. Long-term vision. My mentor once told me, Neno, you got to play chess, not checkers. You got to play the long-term vision, guys. You can't think just next year. Next year is so fast. Look, the year's almost over. In 10 days, it's going to be July. We'll be halfway through the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like 2024 just started and we're already halfway through it. A year flies by right away. That's not long-term vision. When you think about long-term vision, I'm thinking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You can't think now. You can't think tomorrow. You got to have long-term vision, because it's going to take a long-term vision for you to pay the price for everything you got to do to get to where you want to go to. Guys, remember, it's not going to happen overnight. Look at how long I've been paying the price for with Mornings with Nano, 5 years. All right. I've been paying the price for 5 years. And I'm only halfway to my first stop, which is 10. I said at 10 years, I'll take a look up and see where we are 10 years from now. But I'm only halfway to my first starting point, for my first, what do they call it? The first milestone. I'm only halfway there, and look at how much we've done halfway there. So you got to be willing to pay the price. That's part of the game, and everybody got to pay the price. My mentor once gave me this example. He said, Nano, if you had to climb a mountain, let's say this mountain had stairs, and obviously the goal is to get to the top of the mountain. And let's say that in order for you to get to the top of the mountain, you need to climb 10,000 steps. He said, bro, the only way to get to the top is by going through the 10,000 steps. Life is the same way. You're going to have to climb every single step. There's no skipping. There's no elevator. There's no nothing. You got to climb every step to get there. He said, look, and on your way up, you're going to see people fall off. You're going to see people think it's too much. You're going to see, and he said, all you got to do is every day just climb one step closer. Put your head down and just climb every day. People will fall off. There'll be days that you're tired. There'll be days that it rains. There'll be days that it's cold. There'll be days that the sun is too hot. Every day, just climb. And I always remember that specific story that he told me about climbing the mountain. He said, there's no way around it. If you want to get to where you want to go to, you got to climb every step. And that's what I'm here to tell you guys today. It's going to take a lot of steps. It's going to take a lot of steps. It's going to take a lot of climbing, a lot of climbing. But all you got to do is just keep going. All you got to do is keep going and never quit. Guys, I've never quit. I've gone through all the challenges that you guys can imagine. I just never quit. People quit, I kept going. People lost faith, I kept going. People spoke negative, I spoke positive. People's character switched, I kept going. This is what it truly, truly takes to get to where you want to go to. And this is only the beginning. You know, we're going to 5 years may seem like a lot, but when I get to 20 years, 5 years is going to seem like nothing. Like I remember when my first 5 years, you know, I still got, guys, I'm young, 30 years young. You know, like I'm going to be doing this till I'm 80, 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about it like that means there's still 60 years plus for me to, for me to climb. I'm still here thinking about it. I'm like, damn, I still got 60 more years to climb, 70 more years to climb. You know, I know God is going to bless me with 100 years of living. So especially with the way technology is going and the way things are going, I think I'm going to live past 100. I want to live as long as I can to see as many generations as I can. Why not? We only get one life. Might as well live it up all the way. So I know I'm going to live past 100 years old. So we still got at least 70 plus years left of climbing. So this is only the beginning. This is only 5 years. This is so easy. I've only done 5 years of climbing. Think about that. There's still 70 more years to go. That's the long-term vision. Look at how much we've done in 5. Imagine 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years in, and this is what it's all about. And with the money that we're going to make, man, I'm going to buy myself years. I'm going to have the best health. I'm going to be investing $1 million into my body a year. I always told people that I'm like, yo, you know why I want to make so much money as well? It's not just because of what I want to do for my family and all of that stuff. That's the given. You know why I want to make so much money as well? Is because I want to invest so much money into my health. I want to have a nutritionist at my house making me 3 meals a day with exactly everything I need in those meals. I want to be going to Switzerland and to China and to all these different places in Asia to do the state of the art, health conscious, get rid of any cancer cells, all of that stuff, and put myself in the best possible position to be the strongest version of myself, like the peak health that I can get to. But you know what? It takes money to do that. It takes money to have a nutritionist and a chef, and all these things, it takes money for that stuff. A trainer, a therapist, all that stuff. It takes money. And for my parents as well, it takes cash. It takes a lot of money. So guess what? I got to work now. Okay. So, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just blessed. I'm grateful. I want to thank you guys all so much. Those are the 5 ways to pay the price in life. I didn't really know what to talk about prior to this, but I'm like, yo, let's just talk about paying the price because that's what it really takes. Okay. So just to cover it one last time, number 1, you got to work without getting paid so you can get paid without work. Okay. Number 2, you got to commit to the sacrifices. Remember, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. Okay. Number 3 is you got to have the resilience during the challenges. Okay. You got to keep pushing during the challenges. Number 4 is a delayed gratification. Okay. It's going to take time. And then number 5 is you got to have the long-term vision. You got to have long-term vision. That's why I told you guys, like, that's why I have journals. That's why I've read all the books, because what I've realized is that I'm so young. People be like, Neno, I'm getting old. I'm like, bro, I'm young. Like, dude, I'm building my foundation right now. Like I graduated from college at, 22, 23 years old. I didn't really get into business till like 24, 25. Like I'm just in my first 5 years of like, I was just figuring things out the first 5 years. I was just building my foundation up the first 5 years. I was developing the right mindset. I was developing the right habits. I was growing in my awareness. I was reading the right books. I was growing closer to God. Like all I was doing the first 5 years, I was in the basement building the foundation, bro. I haven't even started building for real. I haven't even started building for real. I just been building my foundation the last 5 years. I spent the last 5 years building my foundation. Now is that we're gonna go build. Now is that we're gonna go build. And you know what, guys? I learned from so many people. You know what? I'm happy today. I'm at peace. I'm filled with love. I'm overflowing with abundance and joy. You know why? Because I focused on the most important things at first. Yes, money's great, all these stuffs are great, but what I realize is majority of the people that have money are unhappy, lack peace, they lack love, they lack a relationship with their creator, they lack a relationship with their families. I tell people all the time, bro, I'm rich, I'm abundant, I'm wealthy. I live the life of my dreams. I have mental peace. Both of my parents are alive. Like, I feel amazing. I have a great relationship with my family. I have a great business. I'm serving my purpose every single day. Like, I live the most amazing life. And it's all thanks to the personal development because I worked on myself within. I worked on myself within. And now the outside is beautiful. So, and guess what? I spent 5 years building my foundation. It may take you maybe it'll take you 5 years to build yours. Maybe it'll take you half. But whatever it is, the last thing I'll say here is never quit because quitters never win and winners never quit. So with that being said, guys, give me some 555s in the chat box if you guys got value from today's call. That was, a little 5-year anniversary call. More than anything, I just kind of wanted you guys to enjoy the moment with me and, celebrate it. One day we'll be celebrating these anniversaries in a beach somewhere, in an all-inclusive resort somewhere. But in the meantime, we'll celebrate it on these calls and, we'll talk about things. But like I said, again, guys, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the appreciation. Sana, if you listen to this, I love you, sis. I appreciate you. Jasmine, if you're still here, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for believing in me. Everybody who's ever played a part in this, all my leaders, all my team members, all the people from the past, from the present, from the future. Thank you all for just being a part of this amazing movement. This is only the beginning to this movement, and we're going to change and impact and inspire the lives of thousands of people all around the world. So thank you guys again. I'm going to do a quick prayer for us before we go, and then we'll wrap it up right there. So everybody just bow your heads real quick and let's pray. Father God, we want to say thank you so much for allowing us to show up on this beautiful Thursday morning. Today is the 5-year anniversary for Mornings with Neno, and we just want to say thank you for allowing us to create a community that is centered around you and that has allowed all of us to gain access to an incredible amount of wisdom, to an incredible amount of community, people, and just filled with so much love. And with you in the center, Father, we couldn't have asked for a better community. You've helped all of us grow. You've helped all of us get closer. You've helped all of us, figure out our traumas and heal them. And there's just been so much positive that has came from this, and we're going to continue to grow because we want to be the examples that we want to see in the rest of the world. We're going to continue to build the kingdom brick by brick each and every single day. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give up on you. We're not going to give up on ourselves. We're not going to give up on our families, and we're not going to give up on this community. Father, we are committed to you. We are committed to the mission that we are on, and we just want to say again from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for it all. We love you and we appreciate you. In God's name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. God is the greatest. God gets all the glory. And I'm just so grateful, family. So I love you all. I appreciate you guys all. Enjoy the rest of your days. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Happy summer. I know it's the first day of summer as well. So I wish you guys nothing but a summer filled with love, filled with abundance, filled with breakthroughs, filled with growth. I pray that God eliminates anything that's not serving you in your life for this summer and that you go out and have your best summer 2024. Let this summer be the one that we talk about for years to come. And we be like, yo, you remember summer 2024? That was the one that changed everything. But until then, let's keep working. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep becoming the best versions of ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next call on Tuesday. God bless, fam. Let's go.